Today is your first taste of honey in your coffee.
Hello, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Now I have a question for you. Have you ever been upset with someone because they didn't do something exactly like you saw it in your head when you asked? Go ahead, be honest. I know I have. But so today we're talking about expectations, and all of that is dealing with how you expect someone else to perform based on something that you need internally.
And the 3 points of that we're going to specifically touch on will be reflection, control, and selfishness. And today, even though it's our first go at our video blog, we have our first guest as well, and we need to introduce ourselves as well. So, this is Big Sis, Miss D House.
Hello.
And my name is Yashi, and our
All
guest...
this honey. She is definitely the honey. I am definitely the coffee.
And our first guest today is Miss
Sarah Smile.
Yes.
And you'll see why we call her Smile.
Oh my goodness. Hi.
Isn't she just so beautiful? Aren't we all? And she's just so adorable.
Oh.
Yes. So
these young folks in this Instagram. Yes, ma'am. We're getting it all set up for both today.
Yes.
So we'll wait for it so I can get everybody. Oh yeah. Okay. So continuing on, pretty much as Sis was asking, you wanna?
Yeah. So basically, again, the question was, when you're dealing with the expectations, are we dealing with a forced will, or are we dealing with someone's free will? Because in our interpretation, you're dealing with a lot of force and trying to make someone to be, or to trying to get them to perform how you want them to based on the expectation you have set for them.
In your head. In your mind. Mm-hmm. No one else is just yours. So, yeah, that part. So as a reflection of yourself, then, when you project your voids and unhealthiness onto other people, and you're trying to get that person to fulfill what you are not willing to do for yourself, then it becomes more of a force. It's like, okay, I can't do this for myself. I'm feeling dependent. I'm feeling a little handicapped, but in my mind, I don't care about the next person's feelings. I just need you to do this for me. Mm-hmm. I just need you to step up and be my hero in this moment, instead of me being a hero for myself, and not realizing the type of weight that put onto other people. Mm-hmm. Like, everyone is not built to carry everybody's emotions and expectations and drama, things of that nature. And when you realize that the honey is already in your coffee, then you don't have to seek outside of yourself for someone else to fill the voice that you're not willing to fill for yourself.
Right. And don't get us wrong, because I know where it's coming to. Everybody has what they call expectations for relationships. I get it. Men, I expect my woman to XYZ, whether that's screw me nightly, whether that's take care of the kids, whether that's cook every night or cook every other night or cook 3 nights a week. I won't say who you were, but there's always these expectations that we set based on, to me, a lack of what's inside. Is it, and when I said force, or is it free will, is it that you expect me to cook, for example, or do you trust that I'm going to take care of the household? And is it a trust thing? Because if it's a trust thing, then I'm going to trust that you're going to do your part. And I don't even know if it's necessarily your part, but you're going to do what's needed for the family.
Right.
And then the same will be extended to you, because I'm going to trust that you're going to do what it is for the family.
Right.
So whether that's I'm cooking tonight or you're cooking tonight, guess what? The family has been fed.
Thank you.
Why is it just on one person? And I'm just using cooking for an example, because all women and men know that example. So why couldn't it just be, I see he or she are running late. Oh, you know what? Hey, I'm not going to sit, because the expectation to make you sit and wait till they get home.
Thank you.
Not wait till they get home, get on. No, they expect as soon as you walk through the door, you drop your bags, you go straight to the kitchen. That's what expectation will make you do.
As well as leading us to our next point. What did I name? I said 3 things we're going to talk about. I said reflection, control, and selfishness. That's a form of control. Yes. That is a form of keeping yourself as well as your partner in a state of like a prison. You're creating this lower level type of frequency, and you're just going to sit back literally and wait for this person to come, not caring what they've been through throughout their day, not caring about how they're feeling, or the fact that you do have a little extra time. You got home early, you had a little downtime. Put that downtime into play, relax and, and all that stuff. But the fact that you're actually going to wait for this person to walk through the door to pick up what you could have already been doing,
right.
Like, who does that? And people wonder why their partnerships are not fulfilled. It's like, I'm going to control you by making you do this. And if you don't meet this expectation in my mind, then when you do hit the door, then not only are you going to feel me, but you're gonna be reminded of this prison that you better not step outside of,
right?
Unless you get permission from me. Is that healthy?
Right, at all. At all. And then you think about it, and just in case you still like, I kind of hear what they're saying, but I kind of don't. Let me give you this illustration. Has anyone ever been in a situation? Me. Has anyone ever been in this? You better not. Anyone ever been in this situation where, let's say, a couple has a baby, and this will put this in perspective for you when you're talking about a prison. But you have a baby, and you, as either the woman or man, because nowadays it is what it is struggling because you're trying to get the baby taken care of. You got something else that's going on, and God forbid, like me, I've had 5 babies. That's my second one right there. Yay. You're trying to get the baby taken care of. Another little one is running around. Your husband is getting ready to walk through the door, or he's already there. And it's like, and out of my frustration, I was like, do you mind changing this baby for me while I go take care of the other one? Or do you mind watching them while I go and take care? See, expectations and false sense of security will put you in this box of having to ask someone who is also participating in a child's life, do they mind watching? Oh, you ask a daycare provider to watch your child. You ask a stranger to watch your child. You don't ask your significant other, do they mind watching a part of themselves? You know what? I just have to, right. I have to interject there as well, sis, because I am auntie. This is my baby. Right. I have 5 children of my own. However, one of the main questions that I used to get back in the day is, how do you get him to? Right. And I promise you, I was so confused. What do you mean get him? What, I don't understand your question. Because my whole thing is, it's already a mutual understanding that we're partners in this house. I work, he work, I hustle, you hustle. Right. I do whatever, I party, have fun just like he does. So when we're at home is first. Right. Home gets taken care of first. Right. I'm not going to argue about whose duties is to what, except taking out the trash, because I grew up with brothers. I don't touch trash, you know what I'm saying? But we're talking about them double standards later. We'll talk about that later. I got you. But no, I hear a lot of young women now. They'll ask me that now, how do you get him to pull his weight with the kids or pull his? Well, if you have to get him to do anything, sweetheart, should he be there? Right. Right. Seriously, who is lacking whose self-value? Right. Is it you or him? Exactly. Because when you make that known, self-value. Right. And my niece, she has no children, but she knows off the bat, you're going to respect me. You're going to come into my life and add value to my life, not take away value from my life. And if you have to negotiate that, especially when it comes to the household, these are things you should have been discussing before y'all start having children. Before you started talking about we're going to be a family. Because what are your family values? Right. And what are you teaching your children that will soon be someone's husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, CEO? Because make no mistake about it, how you are in one area of your life is going to bleed into every other area. So if you're, and we're moving right into selfishness, but if you're that selfish person who is only concerned about those things that fulfill you, Because that's what expectations do. They fulfill that person. And if you're not able to step outside of that comfort zone and make sure that someone else is doing it, here, you're going to also do it in the workplace.
Yes.
You'll find yourself with a whole lot of expectations. Oh, they didn't show up to work. Well, then, hey, expectations that they should have been here. They got to get their work done. Not understanding that what happens in this cubicle or happens in the back of the building is after, it's
everybody's going to feel that. Exactly. Right.
So it's crazy. Anything you want to jump in?
I really wanted you to, because the part that you were making earlier about, even as children have those type of superficial expectations of their parents. Like, yeah.
So right now, you guys are on expectations for relationships.
Well, again, relationship is a relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah. So earlier I was talking about how I found myself putting my own expectations on my mom, and it was a time where I basically was in a low, and I would react a certain way and just shut down and don't talk and none of that. And I was kind of used to my mom, like, trying to speak to me or trying to see what's going on with me and this kind of third. But then over time, I realized she would just let me just sit there and just deal with whatever I had going on, even though I was expecting her to, talk to me or try to see what's going on with me and whatever. She kind of just let me sit in it and just deal with it. And in my mind, I'm just like, well, dang, she's not gonna say nothing to me. Like,
she's not gonna come save you.
Yeah, like she's not gonna say something that's gonna make me feel better, or you know what I'm saying. So, and it kind of made me open my eyes and because I saw the strain that it was putting on her mentally and emotionally. And when you're in that situation, you know what you're doing. Like, I knew what I was doing. I kind of wanted to tug a little bit of energy from her, but her not giving me that, it kind of helped me grow and open my eyes to it a little bit. So,
and better deal with yourself in a healthy way.
Yeah. Instead of just trying to just be quiet. Because she said, you mentioned something earlier about when someone's quiet and somebody kind of expecting somebody to come say something to them. When nobody don't say anything to you, it's kind of like, well, dang, don't nobody see me? Like, hey, hello, like,
right. And see, that expectation again will keep you in that box of waiting for somebody. But when you take control of yourself and your life, and you know that I am responsible, and I trust me. I trust the fact that right now I need some help. So guess what? Hey, mom. Hey, dad. Hey, whosoever. Right. I'm going to reach out. I'm not going to wait for somebody to reach out to me. It's nice when it happens, but guess what? My expectation of myself is that I don't have to wait for it.
Right. But that was another part that you all were talking about when y'all said that earlier. Like, when you expect someone to bring you out of that space and you're expecting a certain type of dialogue. And then if you don't get that dialogue, then what? You're going to further sink down even lower because they didn't say the exact words that you wanted to hear. They didn't comfort you in your language, that of what you were expecting to hear. So now you either are going to feel even lower or you're going to resent them.
Right.
Because now you don't get me. And now it becomes the blame game.
Right.
And all of this, this whole expectation thing is, people don't understand how unhealthy expectations are. This conversation actually came up because of a personal encounter that I had with someone. And their whole thing was like, well, I do expect this and I do expect that and all this and that. And I had to break it down. Expectations keep you from being in a space of gratefulness.
Yes.
You cannot be grateful for the things in your life, your partner. And when I say gratefulness, I'm talking about being grateful to be able to watch this person grow. To be grateful that they are not doing things exactly the way you would do them. Being grateful that you're being shown a reflection of yourself in a different way, that you can pick up different signals. And that's the whole beauty of partnership, period, whether business, parents, lovers, any of that is because you're able to see yourself grow in a whole different manner. But you can't see that if you're putting all these invisible barriers on this person. Right. You know, so, you know, that part. Like,
right. And people don't realize how much they do that and how much, and it's almost like being in an abusive relationship. After you've gotten slapped a couple of times, you start living your life expecting for that slap to come. Yeah, and so then you start putting expectations on yourself. Yeah. Like, okay, so when I meet this person, I got to do this. I have to act this way. I have to perform this way. And then you start running into people who are a little more freer in their thinking and in their spirit, man, that there's like, hey, the way you're acting, okay, is something wrong? I can tell something must be going on with you because you seem like you're expecting the next shoe to drop. You see, we put those expectations on ourselves. But how great would it be if we can get to a place where we're actually 2 people, 3 people, whatever it is, people that are in a relationship with each other, they're relating to each other. They are in a situation where everyone is participating and not isolated, where you just have people that are coexisting.
And I think people don't understand what that whole word relating means. People look at, when you break down the word relationship, it has the word relates in it. But instead, people take the ship part and they just let themselves be carried and drugged by this energy or this, you know, false security of this energy. And as they're being drugged through the mud, so to put it, then they're losing themselves. But if you were in a space of just being open and grateful to even have this experience in your life, to have this person in your life, to be able to still learn and have someone to grow with. And I mean that I'm not limiting this to just a relationship. Right. I need people to understand that how you relate to yourself first. Is how you're going to relate to your children.
Your very first relationship.
That's how you relate to yourself, is how you're going to just see your reflection of yourself in many, many different areas of your life, period. Like sis was saying, it's going to spill over into every area of your life. But if you're going to self-deny that growth within yourself, then you can't blame anyone else. You can't expect someone to come and save you from you.
Right.
Things that you are not willing to face within yourself or let go of. Like, seriously.
You can't say ouch, just say amen.
And then, right? I would put that on t-shirt. Like, seriously.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But the last example we wanted to talk about, because this is something big, is traveling. When you have your mates and you're in this relationship and your mate says, well, you know, I want to make a trip by myself, just to get away by myself, or a trip with my friends. And the person who has this unrealistic expectation will be the first person to blow a gasket. Like, literally just blow up. But the person that's blowing up is not looking at themselves to say, why am I acting like this?
That was going to be my question. Why do you have this certain unrealistic expectation of someone else anyway? Where did that come from? And oftentimes it comes from insecurities. It can come from little things that happen in we all know that our childhood formed a lot of us and how we relate in life as adults. But it could be little things that happened that left you insecure. And as anyone with children, if they had a bad or what they consider not as perfect upbringing, the first thing that comes in your mind is, when I have my children, I won't. Whatever that is. That's setting up this unrealistic expectation that you're going to set on your children. Well, we're not going to do this. And then you see your children acting all of amok. And he's like, well, shoot, hold on, maybe let me go grab a little bit of what mom and dad did do, because that seemed to work a little bit. But that's talking about this whole, when it comes to traveling, and you're talking about, because I was seeing this guy and at the very beginning. And so I was like, hey, about 5 months down the road, me and my, girls are thinking about having a girls trip. His eyes went blue, and that was a 2-week fight because I had the expectation of their leaving and him staying behind. And I was like, well, what is the problem? What's going on with you? Or so are you telling me, because the way I think, my first thought was, so are you telling me that if you went away with your friends, you would be doing something that I should be concerned about? which I'm not going to be, because whatever you do, that's on you, because karma sees everything.
But how about this? Let's bring this all the way back just a little bit. Forget a trip. Let's just talk about a simple trip to the store.
Stop.
See,
okay.
At that point, all of it's toxic, but at that point, is
right. You can't go to the store 5 phone calls before you even get to the end of the street. I mean, like, really though?
And still talking about expectations.
Right.
Still talking about expectations.
And then, the sad part about it is a lot of young women think it's cute. Oh, he didn't call me.
Right.
He didn't check on me.
Right.
But you're the one that decided you wanted to go walk to the store or take a ride or a trip to the store. So why do you need him in your ear every 5 seconds? So that would be a reverse, unhealthy way of expectation, because even though she's initiating the action, then at the same time, in her mind, she's not feeling secure because he's not calling every 5 seconds, blowing her up.
Thank you.
So what do you think he's doing at the house? You have to be on the phone with him every 5. You just left the house. Right. As a matter of fact, like, then you need a couple of seconds just to
breathe. To let that honey flow into your coffee.
Thank you, baby. Thank you. Y'all, you with us here.
But see, that's talking about that part of expectation that's controlling. And because most of us have lived toxic lives,
we function in dysfunction.
Thank you. And so that level of control to us feel normal. So although it wrecks our brains until we get out of that, because again, I've been in a situation, I couldn't leave work unless I was calling, hey, I'm on my way home. All right. Okay, I'm going to talk to you in a few minutes. Okay, bye. You know what? I'm going to go to I'm not going to say nobody's name. No, I'm just going to the restaurant.
Right, but wait, sister, to be on the phone.
Right.
And
I'm sitting here, you know what? I got the kids at home. Everyone's taking care of it. I'm going to take 5 minutes for myself. Eat my little kids' meal. Just be to myself. Oh, my God. You didn't come. You didn't call it. You didn't say you was going to that restaurant first.
Oh, God.
Is it that serious?
And you're tiring me.
Thank you.
And I'm already tired.
So I said, y'all, I had a relationship like that once. And honestly, I had to get out of it. I was suffocating so much.
Exactly. You don't realize how much. And then, okay, so let me explain. So
more than it hurts.
So some of the things that we'll be talking about, and we're going to have different things, and we'll definitely be back. But what I've noticed as I've grown and as I deal with trauma and as I watch it and I'm starting to unfold it even in my own life, you don't realize how often you do this.
Oh, sis. Yes.
You stop breathing.
Holding your breath,
you stop breathing. And it's a spiritual thing. Have you ever let go of something and it felt like, and you didn't realize how much you were. And see, when you're dealing with someone that is toxic, when you're dealing in these unrealistic expectations, you don't realize that you're not breathing. And if you're not breathing, baby, you're not living. And if you're not living, you might as well just go ahead and get your casket together and go ahead and lay on down.
Because you know what, you guys, real talk, breath, and I'm not saying breathing, I'm saying your breath is your essence of life.
Yes.
You knew you were alive when you came out of your mother's womb and you took that first breath. That was your signal. Welcome.
Right.
So the moment that you allow someone to take away your breath, bruh.
It's not that serious. I promise it's not. It's not.
I mean, and thank you for sharing that with us.
Thank you.
You know, I really, I appreciate the interaction here. But that is a big thing that you hit on right there. When you said you felt you were suffocating.
Yes.
Baby, don't let anyone put you in a cage because of their expectations of you.
And I appreciate the fact that you saw your value, even if it was later on. I appreciate that you saw your value enough that you realized you needed to breathe and you needed to go.
Okay, and I was going to say that next. So you know what?
It's a lot of people that are in denial of that.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Admit it. Like, this ain't right.
They make up excuses for it.
Yeah. And you know what? And the excuses, it's like, you make the excuse because you want to comfort this other person's insecurity, but you're not understanding, once again, that reflection, that it's your insecurity as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Something within yourself is making, you're using that person's insecurity to make it sound like, you know, you're doing them a favor.
Right.
You're staying in this space so that they can always have their comfort and know where you are and what you're doing and what your habits are and all this and that. But you're not a trained monkey.
That's right.
And then at the end of it all, you know, all the excuses you've made for this person, when you actually take a breath to sit back and look at yourself and you realize it wasn't even about them.
Right.
It was really me.
Exactly.
Because it was something in me that kept me from speaking up for myself.
Yes.
Something in me that kept me from saying, hey, I'm not wearing all these suits you putting on me. This is not even me.
Right. And if it has to be that, then I draw a line right here and I just walk away and we're fine. Mm-hmm. But you'll be surprised again, once you learn that your wealth and what you need for yourself, that if that person really cares, you'll be surprised how quickly expectations will start to drop.
Okay.
You'll be surprised.
When you show your true self, people have no choice but to accept it. Exactly. Either they're going to accept it or walk away. Right. And you don't walk behind them.
Right.
Let them walk on, because you know what that tells you? That lets you know that you have completed that part of your life and you have elevated into the next level of growth, and you don't follow your dysfunction out the door.
Exactly.
It's a reason why it peeled away.
And sometimes it takes that go back. You know, sometimes it take a few tries. You know, you go back and you like, okay, I know I don't need to be here, and then you try again, and then that final straw.
And that is true, because it builds up that character. Right. But you know what? It's like that faith of the mustard seed. Even that first time when you knew you should not have went back. Right. Whatever it is that you're trying to prove to yourself that allowed you and let you go back. Okay, we make mistakes. Sometimes we backslide, but to continue to do it, now you're making it a habit.
Right.
Now you're not learning. Now you're not standing up for yourself,
because you're dealing with your insecurities.
Exactly. And you're allowing your insecurities to eat you. Right. Because the moment you're able to say, hey, you know, I know this is not for me, and you can disconnect that entire situation and gain your breath again and have the expectation of yourself that I'm going to treat me better. Right. I'm going to create new habits. Then all that other stuff. Right. Like,
what did I say, Sarah? I always tell.
Sorry, we didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
go ahead, sis. This is our very first session. Our
first podcast.
We're gonna have live interactions coming in and stuff like this. I'm just trying to read off my babies.
I always tell my female friends that a insecure relationship ain't going nowhere at all, and I want y'all to tell some of these females out here that they need to know their worth too.
Yes. Absolutely. Although I hate that word females, because when you deal with females, you're talking about animals. Yes. So when we talk about men, we don't say the male over there. You tell some of these male, we say tell some of these men. So let's just say women.
That's the start, and we appreciate your input.
Thank you, though. Yes,
and you have a great point. However, one of the ways to empower our women is to recognize them as women. Right. Not a female, because a female could be anything on this earth. It could be a horse, an animal, you know. As a woman, and even take it deeper.
That's why we are learning from.
Yes, you strengthen yourself by recognizing yourself. You strengthen yourself by not allowing yourself to just be categorized in whatever general categories that are put out there for you as a label, because at the end of the day, our power lies within how we recognize who we are. Right. You know, and when you don't check someone as to how they label you and how they talk to you, like, first of all, I don't know what the new lingo is out on the street when dudes trying to approach y'all these days.
And smile.
You know, but
say Red.
Oh, that's what it is.
That's no, like New Orleans.
Oh, no.
That's just a funny
My whole thing right here off the bat is you can't get my attention yelling at me, catcalling at me, not acknowledging me as a woman. And even if you come to me as, you know, that female right there, who?
Right.
What if he what?
Right.
Oh, you saw a dog somewhere. You can go chase that, whatever. Because I am a whole woman.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to recognize me as one.
And I guess for me, I only respond to a man, so I really don't hear everything else. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Right. And that is something as big too. People don't understand that, especially women. They don't understand that it starts with the mating call.
Yes.
How dudes gonna try you? Mm-hmm. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
They're going to see what are you going to answer to.
Exactly. I'll never forget. I heard this long, as my grandmother used to say, long years ago. I heard this guy say one time, he said, and this was back when I was, a teenager, early adult. I know we're only 25 now.
Oh, okay.
Don't believe a word.
Whatever. But it was this thing where everybody was like, hey, shouty.
Oh, gosh. Hey, shouty. I hated that.
And
Sorry, let me whisper.
You know what? Stop that foolishness. But I heard him say, he said, why do you as women turn around and look? Because if he's cute, you be like, oh, okay, hey, how you doing? You talking to me?
You gonna keep
you're right. So he said, every time somebody says, hey, shouty, so every time you do that, you turn around, you're hoping that he's really talking to you. But if you, and I didn't experiment. Even at that young age, I was like, you know what? Because he talked about how we dress, and this would be a whole different subject and a whole different category. But I dressed myself very professionally for a week. And I don't mean like suits and things like that. I was only 25. So maybe a nice pair of slacks, just a business shirt. I promise you, I met 2 lawyers and a doctor that week. Wow. But it was what I was willing to accept as my mating call.
Right.
And it wasn't, and I even noticed the way I dressed, I didn't get the, hey, shawty.
Thank you.
Hey, shawty. Because when a man sees that you carry yourself at a certain level, it'll force him, I got to come up.
Okay.
I got to come up a little bit.
You know what? And that is another, it is another conversation, but it's also a part of what we're talking about, because the expectation of what you put, people don't want to admit that how you present yourself does matter.
Right.
You know what I mean? Period. And it's not so much as, how much skin you're revealing, I guess, to a certain extent. Right. But even if you are, it's still the energy you carry.
Right.
It's still that mating. Dudes are like, they can smell your insecurity.
I have seen, if you don't believe it, go to a beach. You'll find all kinds of naked people there.
True.
And somebody can be in a 2-piece thong, but how they carry themselves as they're walking still determines how somebody will accept them. So again, it really doesn't matter what you're wearing. But just like I heard what's the name saying, Goody Mob, he said, I used to believe that a woman, if she really respected herself, she wouldn't show all her ass. But on the same token, if you really respected yourself, you would pay attention to how you dress.
I mean, but if you think about it, think back where old times in Africa, they was wearing stuff was
cut off,
but they still carried.
But that energy, like you can feel that
that was their norm.
Yeah, that was
that was a different value system back then.
And that's true. But even if you bring that into the now, it's like, I'm not saying, because I know young girls, some things I don't always agree with, but they want to show
out there dancing.
That is a career.
I know, I'm trying.
But the point is it's all about the respect, because first of all, I've never been the smallest person, as y'all can see. I'm a good juicy one, but
honey.
But it was always how I carried myself.
Exactly.
I could go anywhere. I never was called AB.
Right.
Even like how some dudes get upset when you turn them down and they turn around and they call you H's and all this, ho, you ho, all this, I ain't want you know what. I never got that because of, first of all, you do gotta have some crazy energy to even approach me.
I've been saying, she get them hands on you, baby. That ain't what you want in your life. That's not what you want in your coffee.
But even beyond that, like I've had dudes that watch me, probably would see me at 5 Points downtown going to work every single day back in the day. Didn't know this guy was watching me for months. Probably was one of the little hood street something that he knew he was not my type. Took him months to get up the courage to just say hi. He knew that he could not approach me in the way that he approached. Right. Okay. But that's the expectation I have for myself.
And that was going to bring me to a question. Is expectations, should they really be for someone else, or should they be for yourself? Because if you have the expectations, not for somebody else, let's say, and we're going to even go back to the cooking. If I have the expectation that I want to eat every night, then whoever I meet, when they see that I'm taking care of me and eating me, guess what they're going to want to do? They're going to trust me enough to aid in their process. You know, hey, I want us to eat together tonight. Yeah. It's not I see you eat sometimes. So I guess I'm going to sit back and expect you to bring me the food. And I guess when you bring it, then I know you're ready to eat. Mm-hmm. They're watching what expectations you have for yourself and how you treat yourself. Yes. That's how the level should be set in relationships, not based off of my lack. So because I'm lacking, now I'm going to put these list of rules here that you got to do for me to make me feel whole. No.
And if you don't expect it for yourself,
thank you.
Exactly. That was one thing that I had learned on my journey of self-healing and self-love. The biggest thing for me was, instead of giving so much of myself and pouring into others, I had to realize the more that I pour into myself, everybody's going to feel that energy.
Right.
They're going to feel taken care of just because the person that they love, me, is taking care of me. So now I'm vibrating on a different frequency. Now they're picking it up. And now I don't have to overexhaust myself trying to fix everybody.
Right.
Because they're just able to see, like, okay, auntie on a different frequency.
Right.
Mommy's on a different frequency. She's taking care of herself. Mm-hmm. Now it's okay for me to take care of myself.
Level of ownership.
And now everybody's putting in and pitching in where it belongs.
Right.
Instead of mad about who has to do the dishes.
Right.
And angry about, well, I did it last, or I mopped the floor last, and you didn't mop the floor, and you didn't do all this and that. Just for the fact that the head of the house, the spirit of the home, is taking care of self, I don't hear any of that around me.
Right.
I wake up and now the kitchen is just clean.
Right.
Because it's just the love that I'm putting out, putting in, and now it's being fed. Exactly. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like that part.
Right.
And people have to understand that journey starts with self.
Right. And for those that are, that are really into the church out there, let me put it in terms that you may understand. It said, charity starts at home.
Okay.
Home doesn't necessarily mean a building. It doesn't mean a church. Home. Charity starts at home. And then it spreads abroad. Ashe. Amen. Ashe. Yes.
So I hope you enjoyed us today.
Although we went over, we almost at 40 minutes. I told you we was going to talk.
But we got it in there. I think we put some good content out there. And,
we appreciate you. What's this, Instagram?
Yeah.
Yeah, Instagram. Yes. Thank you guys so much.
Yes, everybody that participated with us, and our videos will go up on YouTube.
Yes,
it will be honey in your coffee. Excuse me, in your coffee.
Yes,
and we will explain, all of that good stuff as we get more into it, as to how we came up with that name and what it means. You probably have seen a little snippet of it already on Sarah's page,
right?
But at the end of the day, we just want to make sure that you replace expectations with gratefulness.
Yes.
And if you do it gracefully, then you will automatically feel the honey in your coffee.
Yes.
Absolutely. So be good to yourself.
Yes.
Be kind to yourself. And most importantly, be truthful with yourself. It is okay if you cannot handle everything that is thrown at you.
Yes.
It is okay to step back, take that deep breath, to walk away, or to reassess some things. It is fine.
And it's even okay sometimes if you have to break all the way down to be built all the way back up. It's okay.
Yes.
It's okay.
And when you are truthful with yourself, then you leave less room for disappointment.
Yes.
That is the biggest thing that people, they're driven by disappointment more so than having true grace within self, true love within self.
Yes.
They look for, like Sis said, those patterns begin to be created of you're looking for the next disappointment instead of looking at your next love gesture to
Absolutely.
self. That should be where the expectation come in with self. So now that you all see both sides of expectation, we hope that you can take this tool and utilize it in your relationships, in your lives with your children, and even with your children. Have expectations of yourself, and they will follow.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you don't have children like me, start now. Start with self.
Absolutely.
You just have yourself.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So we love you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. And y'all, see you next time.
Bye.
Oh, wait. I just want to say something.
Go. Say what?
That I am so honored to be on the first podcast. And I am so excited to see how you guys grow. And
Thank you.
Thank you, sweetie pie.
Our first blessing. So y'all better come back and look forward to seeing us again and again.
Everybody likes a little taste of honey.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Bye.